Hey y'all, welcome to hunting and fishing. My kids are a little older now, and figured I'd document some of what I was doing. Maybe they get a kick out of seeing it here, give them a place to check things out. In front, you'll see that I have 5 of the Torrid H2O Express fishing reels, spinning reels. So it's Academy's brand, I believe, the H2O Express Torrid spinning reel. Recently got a property out on the coast and needed to upgrade my saltwater gear. These were listed as saltwater reels. Wasn't sure what sizes I really needed, so what I did was I just ordered one of each. I think I'll start, they're all each a different size. So I've got the, I bought every one that I could. I bought the TR 300, the TR 400, the TR 500, and there was supposed to be a TR 600, but I have another TR 500, and then the TR 800. So these are obviously going to be different sizes for different applications. Normally, I tend to use, a 300 or 400 or 4,000 is what I have seen them referred to more often. So a little different scale. So I'm just wondering what they look like, what the durability of them is, and kind of go from there. So I've used a bunch of reels over the year, a lot of Daiwa for my saltwater. So this is going to be a little bit of a change for me. But I guess let's get started. First, I ordered all of these online, so I haven't even seen them in the store yet. I don't like them. H2O Express Torrid spinning reel, the TR 300, and it says it's got a 10 bearing system on the side. Line capacity, we've got 6 pounds at 250 yards. 8 pounds, 170 yards, 10 pounds, 140 yards. So it looks like it's rated up to 10-pound test on this, 10 bearings. All of these reels are the same. They have a 5-1-1 gear ratio. Not much else, just box. And I'm not gonna go through all the boxes. They all look to be similar. I'll just check and see what the dimensions are on them. All right, so bag with the reel. We've got the parts diagram. So I always find these handy. I don't know if I'm the only one that ever appreciates these, but I do repairs and I do try and find parts when they're available, and probably going to be doing a series here. I actually purchased these because I haven't done too much saltwater fishing lately, and really my old reels are just they're not in good shape, so that's why I went shopping for these. They seem to have some pretty good ratings on them. Handles loose, just need to of course make the adjustment here to tie this in. All right, so I'm just doing it as tight as I can with my fingers. Got the bail. And that's interesting. I've been watching a lot of fishing here lately, and well, not a lot. I'll say that I've watched some stuff with fishing with an worm and AO fishing, and something I've noticed a lot is they're reeling that they're, flipping their spools back. I've never owned one that didn't automatically go back into place again. That's kind of interesting. Well, no, okay, this one does the same thing. So I see them fishing. Norm, AO, I know you're not watching. AO was kind enough to send me an email the other day. But these are designed that when you do the first crank, it pops the bail back into place. So you don't really have to flip it back over again when you're fishing. You just have to have your momentum to flip it back into place. But it feels very smooth. I like the grip. It's got a good grip on it. As you can see, spool backwards, forwards. For those of you that haven't used a spinning reel before, you have a little lever usually on the bottom. Here it is right here. This flips back and forth. That is what stops you from being able to go backwards and only go forward. So if you have that problem, don't forget you've got the reel here. Oh, see right here, made in China. Well, that's not so great, but drag. It's got clicks on it, so you can feel each individual click as you're going. I have to say, it doesn't sound great, not very distinct. It sounds like it's got a weak spring in there that's making the sound. Doesn't sound very heavy. But overall construction, it looks to be pretty decent. The main thing that I was going to do here is show you all the different sizes side by side. What I'm thinking about doing, so what I'm going to do, actually what I am going to do, if I can figure this out, how we would do this. I ended up with 2 of these TR500s. What would be a good number for that? I don't know how any of that works. I don't know anything about monetization. I'm not trying to get monetized. To get some subscribers here, I'll give away one of these TR500s. I'll think about some kind of number and do a little raffle of some sort, drawing. So anyhow, this is the Torrid 300. And got the TR 400, same thing in the packaging. This one, the line capacity in the 400, 8 pounds at 260 feet, so you gain an extra 10 yards on here, or feet, I guess it is. No, I guess that's gotta be yards. 260 yards, then 10 feet at 195 yards, so you're getting about 25 yards on that. And then of 12-pound test versus the other reel, maxing out at 10 at 140 yards. This one's got 12 pounds at 160 yards. As strong as I can be. Torrid. Again, this is a Torrid series. This one's also a 10 bearing system. I do have to say they feel very smooth. I mean, they feel smooth. Something feels a little bit weird on the handle. I can't exactly explain. I mean, you have to clear the bail, but you can see you've got plenty of clearance here. It just feels like something, I don't know if it's this bend that makes it feel odd. It shouldn't do anything. I mean, obviously geometry, I don't know, something does feel a little, I don't know, definitely easy to get used to, whatever it is. Differences, definitely can see a size difference from my point of view. I'm not sure if you can see it. The height is about the same on the post, but you can see the reel is definitely bigger. We'll get up into the 500 size. Bigger difference, I believe, between the 400 and 500 than between the 300 and the 400. So same thing, good quality. Actually, this gear ratio is 4:9 to 1. The first one's 5:1:1. Yeah, this is 5:1:1 also. Definitely, I can feel the beefiness. Something does feel weird about these handles. I don't know. I feel like my arm goes into a weird position to grab it. See these side by side and see if the comparison is as much as it felt. Yeah, you can definitely see the difference. In a minute, I'll kind of post them up, really side by side with each other so you can get a better look. This is the other 500 that I have. This one I'll be doing a giveaway on, so keep an eye on that. I guess like they say, post and comment, So at times I do have things that I don't use, and I generally find somebody to give things away to anyhow. Traditionally, it's been the kids, but yeah, I would love to be able to do some giveaways on some of the stuff. You can see I also have an over-under shotgun over there that I've had forever, and I have not opened it yet. I guess I've had that thing since the beginning of dove season. So, but anyway, be giving away that reel. I'll figure out one way or the other how to get it out there. But maybe if I can get, like, I don't know what they do. If I can get myself, 500 likes or something. I don't know. They always say thousands. I don't know why that is, but maybe that's, I think 500 would be a ton of people that were actually looking at this. So if I was lucky enough to have that happen, I would be surprised. So I guess, but no, I think 500 likes and comments, if you're going to like it, put a comment in there. If I can get 500 likes and comments, I think that would be, I don't think I get paid anything on that. Not worried about that, but I think that means enough people are watching that it's worth me, doing something nice for you guys. All right, so we've got the 800, and I definitely feel the weight of this thing. Super smooth. The TR800. 4:1 gear ratio, 10 bearings. But again, I like the feel of the handle. Look at the size of this handle on here. The thing is significant. Yeah. Well, it's so hard to tell with things these days, when you look at them, especially made in China. Looks can be deceiving. And things can look really good, and it's not until you really put them to the test over time. So this reel I purchased because I have a crab snare that I've purchased that I need to use, and there's a video on the crabbing snare. I played with it a little bit. It was super windy and I didn't have time. I was really dealing with the property and getting some plumbing and stuff done over there. Toward the 500, now that I'm looking at it, that seems to be more along the size of the 3500s, I guess, that I've been fishing with in the past. If I'm remembering right, I feel like the 500 is what I would normally use for saltwater, trout, redfish, things of that nature. The 400, probably the same as well. I would use it more for trout fishing. I'd still take redfish on it, I think, at that size. If it's a good reel, then the drag system, if it works well, then, it shouldn't be a problem even, bringing in a red. Even the same thing for the 300 or a Zebco 202. Whatever you're fishing with, it's all about the drag and really, how you work the fish. Your pole, that's a big part of it, and what kind of line. But you can do a lot with very little if you have the right combination. Making sure that you have a good drag set, good fishing line, not old, just good, even if it's low test, and a good rod. How I got another TR500, I thought that one was supposed to be a 600. I apologize, but there is one in between. I think it was almost the same size as this. I believe these two were similar in size. But now we can look at the real difference between them. And we can start here with the 300 versus the 400. A little bit of difference. A little bit more difficult to tell, but you can see the bail is much smaller. The spool is much smaller. As you get up here, bringing this up, you can see the difference between these two. Quite a bit in size. This one, like I said, feels like my 3500. A little bit of weight to them, not bad. I'll have to weigh them and put them on the scales. But you can see these two here, side by side, definite difference. And And then, of course, the last one. So these are the H2O Express Torrid spinning reels, the TR800, TR500, TR400, and the TR300. I can say is that they seem to be good reels. I wish there was a quick release for the spool to kind of push the button to pop these off and on. But you know, I'll take this one off and take a look. I haven't. Typical inside of a spool. Nothing special. Cranked up here. I mean, the drag does feel from here, it feels good. How it actually responds has yet, wow, that went tight real fast. Okay, not bad. We'll see, and I'll show you, you know, coming up. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to use these reels. I need to put line on them. I need to get them on poles. I'll show you how I set the drag. I've never seen anybody test and set the drag kind of the way that I was shown to do it as a child. I've never had problems. I see people breaking lines all the time, and it's really funny. You know, not funny, but I always wonder. It's like, wow, that's, you know, I've never really had that happen before, where I've broken my line on a, you know, from a fish. Now I've had it, of course, when they bite through, or if you tear on a, you know, on a branch or a rock or a shell or something like that. You know, of course, we all, you know, break our line. But I've never had one that just snapped perfectly good line, where the knot wasn't bad or something, just because of the size of the fish that it tore it off. Now I've had my spool, I have had my spool run dry before and snap off at the very end when it ran out. But obviously, you know, these are not made to catch sharks. Of course, you know, once I get them set, I'll show you how I wind the line on a reel. I do everything low budget, so I'm not buying a bunch of equipment. When I do, it's because I found it on sale and it's something that would be handy. Generally, I do things the old-fashioned way or the cheap way. You know, I'm always going to try and give you an option. These reels were very inexpensive for what's out there. If they're durable enough for the regular everyday user, you know, great. You know, it may not be something if you're a diehard fisherman that, you know, you're fishing, you know, 2 to 5 times a week, 8 to 10 hours a day, probably not the reels for you. And you know who you are. This is not for that. If you're somebody that, hey, I like to go fishing on weekends, I wish I could go fishing more often than I have time to. I need some poles for the kids, and, you know, and I got to buy, you know, reels for 5 people. I've got to replace them every couple of years, you know, 3 or 4 years anyway, just because the reels are fine, but my kids, you know, they dump them in the salt water, and nothing really does good unless you have a sealed system and running it. So, you know, for a saltwater fisherman that have kids especially, you know it's going in the water. You know that you don't want to invest a ton of money in reel, but you still want to have something good. That's what I'm hoping these are. I hope they're a good quality reel for the money. So, turns out that I really need this 500, and maybe when I've been saying that, you know, that I've been using a 3500 series, maybe I've been using a 4500 series or 4000, I don't know. But the TR500, that's the one that I'm going to be, I think that's going to be my main inshore fishing reel. The 800 here, of course, this is going to be straight up for, you know, surf fishing and using my crab snare. I'll be replacing this 300. I'll still use that. I got an ugly stick with a rod and reel combo. This will be my primary, I think, saltwater. I think this is a pretty good size all the way around. A little bit heavy for freshwater, for saltwater trout. But I think that's going to be the money reel. Anyway, I appreciate you guys checking out the channel. Make sure and comment, subscribe, and like. If I can get, like I said, I'm going to try and get up to 500 likes and comments. If I can get 1,000 subscribers, I will be sending out this Torrid TR500. Not this one. I'll be sending out the brand new one, unopened. I won't even open the box for you. So if you don't get all the pieces in there, I don't know it now. But I'll see if there's any warranty information or anything in there. So I'll make sure that that's included as well. Again, thank you for watching, and get out there and get something.